What's happening, family? Tonyo the Quiet Storm coming to you with another episode of Shift Out of Neutral. I got my guy Deuces I'm out on here, and I got my man Redline Junkies Tech Team on here as well. And we also got a special guest today that's going to teach us some stuff about finances. I want to introduce to y'all Madison Jones, the financial consultant for the day. He has some great information for you, and it's definitely going to benefit you if you're willing to, to try it. So, what's going on, Madison? How you doing today, man?
Hey, what's going on, boss man? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. And this is family, so it's my honor, it's my privilege to be able to bring and share some of this information today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad to have you, man. I'm glad to have you. I love to see fam growing up, man, and we got to help each other for sure.
Yes, sir. Definitely. We're stronger together as always.
Exactly. So, but we not go prolong. Everybody's time is sensitive and got things to do. So what we gonna do? We gonna jump. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Madison Jones and let him go ahead and get into it and show y'all what he got and how to make y'all money grow. So it's over to you, Madison.
All right. Thank you, man. And thank you, everyone, the team, Shift Out of Neutral. Thank you guys so much, like I said, for having me. And today, I actually want to just be able to, be able to add value during this, time that we're here today, as far as being able to share vital information. We know right now so much is going on, right? I mean, there's a lot in the news, whether it's inflation, gas prices, recession, but really want to cover some key concepts. And we're going to talk about the rules to the money game. Because when I was growing up, I loved playing games. I was very competitive, right? It didn't matter if it was green light, red light. But if you didn't understand the rules, then what would happen? Immediately, of course, you're not going to be in a position to win. It doesn't matter any game we're playing, whether it's basketball, whether it's spades, you have to know the rules to the game. And there are some rules to the money game. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm so excited. But before we get into some of those rules, we got to just lay the foundation. And the foundation is understanding the concepts, right? Understanding the numbers, the statistics that actually lie within the financial industry. And I just want to, I don't want to be too morbid starting off, but we are unfortunately facing a crisis when it comes to financial education. And, they actually said that 63%, 63, catch this, of individuals are living paycheck to paycheck. And why is that significant is because in the midst of it, people don't necessarily love or like what they're doing, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's not the American dream, that we've all been told or we've been sold. And then the other real big burden that happens is we're always thinking about what? Paying off the past. So then we necessarily might not focus on the future. So a big goal is what? To pay off debt. If I could ask the question like, hey, who out there would love to be debt free within the next 12 months? And a lot would probably raise our hands. So, then we see 54% of households have some type of credit card debt. I was actually speaking with someone last week or so, and we were just, it kind of dawned on us that they have 2 days back to back, Black Friday and Cyber Monday, just to do what? Just to spend money, right? Not necessarily learning how to save. So 44% of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency if something was to happen, something was to come about. And that's more short term. Then what about long term? Let's talk about retirement. And a lot of baby boomers at that age right now. They actually said that every 7 seconds, a baby boomer turns 65. So it's a lot of people with one thing on their mind, retirement. But 51% have little to nothing saved for retirement. And then, God forbid, someone passes away prematurely, gets sick, can't work. COVID really opened our eyes on this end. And you never know what may happen. 4 out of 10 households are actually uninsured. Now, I really think it all comes down to financial literacy. It's exactly what it boils down to. Because we all, we know that saying, or we probably believe that saying, if you knew better, you would do better, right? And I think most believe it's just a little challenge. Only 6 out of 50 states require a personal finance course to be taught in high school. So starting at a young age, we don't learn this. Then we go to college, and we go into debt, not out of debt, right? And myself, I was actually a D1 athlete. And I'm being in that environment. I have a lot of great friends that's still playing professionally, whether it's the NBA and overseas. And being in that environment, I adopted the habit of spending money. Right, we're number one consumer country, something that we do very well. And now I've sat down with doctors, lawyers, people with their MBAs. You got some of the smartest people out there, PhDs, but we still may not know the basic rules and concepts. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into it. I had to lay the foundation to wake us up, because these numbers is why I have such a passion for what we do. So yeah, let's get into it. There are 4 rules to the money game. 4 rules to the money game we're going to talk about today. And we actually call them 4 enemies of money, because these are 4 areas that actually can kill your money. And no one likes that word. Like, it's not a good, I don't really like that word, but it's truly what can have an impact. Whether it's, saving. First one we're going to talk a little bit about is the time value of money. And then from there, you got inflation. You have losses in the market, which, if we've checked our 401ks, maybe this year, or 403s or 457s, maybe there's been some losses, right? And then last but not least, you have taxes. So the first concept that I want to share with you guys is the time value of money. The time value of money. So this example right here just shows 2 individuals, and they started saving just at two different times, right? So we got Miss Susan, and she started investing $100 every month for 10 years, right? So from 25 to 35, she invested $100, and she got an 8% return. 12,000 total invested, and at 65, Susan had $200,000 in her account. Not too bad. Now, Sam, for whatever reason, he waited until 35 to start saving or investing, and he invested for 30 years total. So triple the time and triple the amount. And then we see at 65, Sam only had 150,000. So again, time plus compound interest equals wealth. Time plus compound interest, that actually equals wealth. So now we understand the importance of time value of money. Now let's understand how compound interest actually has plays a factor, especially with inflation as high as it's been these last 12 months, right? We haven't seen this record as far as inflation in about 40 years. So we have to understand what Albert Einstein actually created. Albert Einstein, one of the smartest out there, he created what's called the rule of 72. Rule of 72. And this rule is actually very simple. It says you take the number 72 and then you divide it by your annual interest rate. And that's how many years that it would take for your money to double. That's how many years, right? So for example, I'm going to be very generous today. It's very close to Sunday. So I love being generous. And I'm going to say that in your bank account that you're getting a 1% return in your checking or savings. Right. Now, the average is 0.01, but let's say you're getting 1% return. So if we do the math, 72 divided by 1, that says it's going to take 72 years for you to ever see that money double. 72 years. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's a very long time. So now the power of it is you don't have to worry about how much you have, but worry about when you start. That's number one. Then now we have to get a higher return, the healthiest return possible. Because if we're going to put money away, how do you make sure that it's earning that return that will outpace inflation? And that's what this rule does for you. So then we see the different rates there. So you got 4% every about 18 years. Then you have 12% about every 6 years, and 6% would be every 12 years. Average retirement age about 65. So we see at that 6%, we're doing a lot better. Now, the question I get from most after we go over that time value of money, then we understand the importance of compound interest and outpacing inflation. The question I get all the time, and I know some out there probably wonder, is how do I get a higher rate of return? That's what we're always thinking. So this is where I want to understand the options for your money, and I'm going to go over three different ways that you actually can invest. All accounts are going to fall into one of these categories, all type of accounts. So let's break them down. First, you have the first type is a fixed account. That's the first type, right? Most will invest into a fixed account. What's a fixed account? It has some guarantees. It's safe. It's protected. But the only downside is there's a low rate of return. So like your checking accounts, your savings account, certificate of deposits, money markets. So it's safe, right? It's at the bank, but there's a low rate of return. So we're not going to outpace inflation. It's more for savings, emergency funds, maybe some trips we have coming up. Those are those fixed accounts. And then the next option you have is variable growth. And when it comes to variable, this is a hot topic these last couple years because variable is tied to the stock market, right? This is just where your money will fluctuate in the market. One day it could be up, next day it could be down. We just don't know what may happen. An example of this is 2008 mortgage crisis. All right, and that was down. Then we have, if we look back at 2020, and then even a couple years prior, the market was actually really good. So it could be up, it could be down. Now, when it comes to variable, the type that you have here are stocks. You got bonds, mutual funds, 401ks, IRA. Those are all considered a variable account. Now, the last option is index. So I know, we're probably familiar or heard of the name Warren Buffett. He's actually the richest investor, one of the richest investors in the world. And Warren Buffett, he said, is 2 rules when it comes to investing. 2 rules. And he said, rule number 1 is don't lose any money. And then rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. Right. And he said, it's that simple. It's that simple. A lot of times we'll complicate it. But what Warren Buffett is an advocate and speaks heavily and highly about is the index growth. And what index does is it mirrors the stock market. So you still participate in the market gains, but then you also have market downside protection. So when the market is down, you don't have to worry about losing. So you have that protection. And that's where Warren Buffett talked about, right? Don't lose any money. So those are the 3 options. You have fixed, you have variable, and then you have index. So what I want you guys to think about while we're here on this slide, I want you to just think about where your money currently is. As I'm talking and going through, think about where your funds currently are allocated. And in that portfolio, when you look at this, just in your opinion, I want you to think about where do you think the best option for your money, right? And write that down somewhere. Right? Maybe it's a fix. Maybe it's hey, I like variable. I'm a little bit more on the risk averse side, or maybe it's an index. Write that down, and I want you to think about that. So, and this last concept is probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite, and it's the one thing that we all love paying. We all love paying. It's good old local sale. Let's talk about taxes, because what separates wealthy from middle America, one of the main keys is they maximize their tax advantages. That's a huge key. And there are 3 ways that you're going to have to pay taxes on your money. You're either going to pay taxes now, you're going to pay them later, or you can do like the wealthy and you can have tax advantage. And we're going to talk about exactly how that works. Because when you're going to have to pay taxes when you buy things. We pay taxes when we sell, when we save, and even unfortunately when we die. The highest tax the government takes actually is death taxes, right? That's just crazy. They know you're not coming back to get it. So let's talk about these three ways you're going to pay. So tax now, how those accounts work. At the end of the year, maybe it's from your stocks, maybe it's your crypto, maybe it's your bank accounts. You're going to get a 1099 and you're going to have to pay those capital gains tax, any interest earned capital gains. You're going to pay that, boom, at the end of the year. Those are tax now vehicles. And then a little bit later on, the government actually decided to defer taxation to a later date. So they said, hey, you're not going to have to pay taxes when you contribute. So the tax later or tax deferred account, for example, is a 401k, an IRA. You have pensions, fixed annuities fall in here as well. So again, how they work is those contributions actually are considered, a tax deduction. So if you contribute in your 401k, you can actually deduct that on your tax, right? And you haven't paid any taxes on that money. It comes right out of your check before you even see it, and it goes into that 401. But then, so at a later date, when you get to 65, average retirement age, let's see, at a retirement, you want to take some loans or withdrawals out. And whenever you want to take a loan or withdrawal, then you're going to pay taxes. So let me ask you guys this question. Would you rather pay taxes on your seeds or on your harvest? Think about that. right? Your seeds are your harvest. Because if I'm a farmer, I'm all day, every day, twice on Sunday, I'm going to pay on the seeds. Why? Because it's a lot less. I don't want to pay when I have a harvest, because then while Uncle Sam is going to take 25, 35, 50, he's going to take a good percentage of it. So that's the same thing when it comes to, for example, maybe your 401k IRA. You're not paying taxes on your seeds that maybe $200 you're contributing every paycheck. You're not paying taxes on that. But so you get to retirement and you have 100,000, 250,000, $1 million in there, then you're going to have to pay taxes. See, the government was smart. They were smart there, right? That was a good while. But that's tax later. That's tax diverse. So again, if we want to be wealthy, we have to do what? We have to follow wealthy principles. And this is where tax advantage comes into place. And how tax advantage works is very simple. The contribution, you're contributing with pre-tax money. So that money was already previously taxed. So whenever you want to take a loan or withdrawal out of these accounts here, then it's a tax. You have tax-free access. You have tax-free access. So these type, the example, you have Roth IRAs. Then you also have cash value life insurance, very hot topic. And then last but not least, you have executive bonus, more for those business owners. So you're going to get tax-free distributions and tax-free access, right? So those right there, those are the main key rules to the money game. Again, we talked about what? The first one was the time value of money. And the second are the options to invest. How do we outpace inflation? And then also, how do we get that healthy return? And then last but not least, good old Uncle Sam, taxes. How do we be able to keep more? And whenever we want to take those withdrawals, those loans, we have access tax-free. Now, implementation is always what's most important, because knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge, we always heard, that's powerful. So in order to implement it, you always want to do is go through a financial needs analysis, right? Every single year, they say what we should go to we should go get a physical checkup, right? Go to the doctor every year. Every 6 months, we should be going and get our teeth. So same thing. Every single year, we should be going and getting a financial checkup every single year, especially as things change, whether it's within family, whether it's work related. We want to continue to get that checkup because think about this, or ask yourself this: if how long, number one, have I been working? Maybe it's 20 years, 30 years, maybe it's 10 years. And if you could say, man, if I could go back 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, and every year I would have got a financial checkup, would I be in a different financial situation right now? And we probably all would agree, like, hey, definitely, without a doubt. Now, we can't go back 20, 30 years, right, or even 10 years. So the best time is always to implement, to start taking that action right away. So those are the main concepts that I want to cover, to go over, just lay that foundation, the main rules to the money game. Then from here, I'm gonna flip back over to our host for the day, and definitely any questions, let's go ahead, let's dive a little bit deeper and go from there.
Man, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Definitely some great tools. I'm actually going through it myself right now with them. So definitely, if you want your money, you want your money to be used properly and also make it grow at the same time. I would definitely suggest you do this. There's definitely some great tools out there that you could definitely use. So let me go ahead and bring up my guys. Anybody on the panel that have any questions for Madison about anything that he's actually went over with you all? Do y'all have any questions?
Nah, I don't have any questions. I personally last year when I started like a little online business, I got like a CPA and a financial advisor simply because like I realized that like my taxes had went up drastically. So and I was like I never really owed the federal government much, but yeah, last year I would have, if I hadn't done it, I would have owed the federal government a few $1,000s. But I ended up making back money after that. So I definitely say that, like, get a CPA, get a financial advisor, you know what I'm saying, and make sure like the taxes is real. like especially on earned income. And so yeah.
Yeah. And I do got a question. Tech team asking, how would one find a financial advisor?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a great question. At our firm, we'd actually do something unique within the industry, as far as being able to offer consultations complimentary, simply because of just how our company is set up, being a broker dealer, and mainly our main goal is no family left behind. So we wanted to make sure we emerge in the community, really change lives through financial education. So all of our consultations we do complimentary. So definitely feel free to touch base, either myself or we have other amazing advisors as well. That'd be glad to assist and sit down, go through that simple needs analysis, gathering that info, and seeing what's important to you.
Yeah. And also we got Madison Jones as well. So that's the hookup guy right there. But any other questions from the panel or anybody that's actually watching right now? I know we don't have a lot of numbers watching today, but it's all good. But if you all have any questions, if you're watching this later and you have any questions, definitely post them up in the comments and I will get those questions to Madison and to get your answers for you. So just let us know, what kind of questions you have, and I'll definitely get an answer for you and reply back to you. So, like I said, we don't have a lot of numbers today, but it's all good. It's Saturday. Everybody probably still in the bed, rolling over, or out and about already. So it's all good. But I just definitely want, this platform definitely to help people, and that's what we're doing today as well. So definitely appreciate you, Madison, man, for taking your time out to explain a lot of this. Because when you explain it to me, it kind of opened my eyes up a little bit. So definitely, it's definitely some great tools to use.
Yes,
so
sir.
definitely appreciate you and your time today, man.
Of course, like I said before, it's my pleasure, man. And anytime we want to be able to sit down and, like I said, even dive a lot deeper. Today was the foundation, but really getting into concepts, how to implement, how to actually take advantage. Definitely be glad to come back around. And of course, any questions, like I said, feel free to touch base. But hey, it was a privilege. It's an honor to be here with everyone. I thank you guys for having me.
Yes, sir. No doubt. We definitely appreciate having you as well. Did anybody, before I leave, anybody else from the panel have any questions?
No, I don't
All
have any
right.
questions. But yeah, I appreciate your time as well. So
Of course, no problem. Yes, sir.
Cool. Well, if no more questions, we're gonna definitely give you some contact information for Madison. You can actually find him on IG at Madison J0NES on IG, and you can also follow him on LinkedIn. I will also put this information in the description of this podcast as well, so that you can have it. So make sure y'all contact him. If you got any questions, or like I said, you can just put a comment in the description of this video as well. So and also, if far as we're gonna go ahead and shout out everybody else. If you need a website done, Nelby Designs is one of the greatest designers out there for websites. So make sure you follow her on IG and Facebook. And also, consultation. If you don't know what you want, she can help you with that as well. So definitely follow go ahead and follow her on IG and Facebook. And if you need a website, definitely hit her up. Also, she's also doing a podcast with former host Seven. Shout out to you. Salute. Magnificently Black, which is also a tool that you can use, that they're helping people as well, giving information out, especially for the Black people, but pretty much it's for community as well. So definitely reach out, follow them on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. And make sure you listen in to them. Also, shout out to my man Living with Kings. He's not on today, but salute to you, brother, as well. I'm not gonna leave you out. So follow him on YouTube, IG, TikTok, Living with Kings. He has some great content out there. You know, not only to help you, not only just car content. He also has creative content out there as well that we've talked about earlier before as well. So make sure y'all dive in deep and listen to him. Also, my man Redline Junkies on here. Follow him on YouTube, TikTok, and IG as well. He has some great content. He's also doing the same. We all doing the same thing, trying to help people, and also just trying to show you, you know, the things that you can have, but you know what you can do to get it. So definitely shout out my man Redline Junkies is up here. Well, and we got my man Deuces on out on here, man. He's doing great things. He will be on YouTube soon. Follow him on IG, Snapchat, and TikTok. So we definitely working with him. We definitely gonna make some things happen. Coming year 2023. You know, we got some things going on. We got some stuff. So we start to set up. So hey, make sure you tap into him, man, because we definitely want to help the people as well as entertain you a little bit too as well. So we all doing that. So I know I'm getting long-winded a little bit, but you can also follow my organizational channel as well as you know my stuff. Tonio the Quiet Storm on IG and TikTok. Follow Arms of the Promise on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. And Tony the Quiet Storm is on YouTube as well. And also make sure you definitely follow this one, Shift Out of Neutral, on IG and YouTube as well. So, and if you want to be a guest on here, please just email us at shiftoutofneutral at gmail.com. If you want to be a guest or you got any questions about anything that we're doing, just hit us up. You know, send an email and I'll definitely be glad to answer your questions. And last but not least, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. You know, it means a lot to us to know that we have people out here watching us and getting good information because we're about helping people. So would y'all agree, fellas?
Yes,
And tag
sir.
team. Yep. We,
100%.
we we out here trying to help each other, man. No matter who you are, you know, red, black, white, green, we're here to help everybody. It's community. We all brothers and sisters in this. So we definitely trying to help everybody in this. So once again, Madison, I appreciate having you out here on here, man. Definitely looking forward to having you again in the future as well. We're definitely gonna be getting together anyway, so you know.
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
yeah,
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Salute.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So appreciate everybody tuning in. And we're a little short today, but it's all good. You know, hey, y'all got a little more time to do what you need to do. I had to hold on. I got a comment here before I leave. Okay, all right, cool. Well, my brother says thank you all for the info on the videos and whatnot. So definitely appreciate you, brother Lou, tuning in to us, man. My brother always supporting, man. So I definitely appreciate you, man. So, but we gonna go get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all once again for tuning in, and this is a wrap for another episode of Shift Out of Neutral, and we will holler at you later on. All right, peace out.